After participating in this learning center, students should be able to confidently evaluate purchases, total amounts, and give change using the accurate coins. Hi, my name is Alexis Turnbull, and this video is for my instructional approaches to mathematics class. This is a math learning center that can be done with third graders in the state of California. It's based on California State Standards 5.0. Students make and model and solve problems by representing adding and subtraction amounts of money. 5.1. Students solve problems using combinations of coins and bills. And 5.2. Know and use the decimal notation and the dollar and cent symbols for money. This also has an overlap with the California Social Studies Standard 3.5.3. Understand that individual economic choices involve trade-offs and the evaluation of benefits and costs. To do this center, you're going to need scratch paper, notebook paper, pencils and pens, and you can take some chairs from your classroom and some tables from your classroom. The most important thing about this center is having the manipulatives to give it the real experience. You're going to need money and coins. For the money, you can either buy play money at the store or you can just cut some paper and write dollar increments on it to make your own. And for the coins, it would be good to either get really replicated fake coins or just use the real coins, because one of the most important takeaways from this activity is that students should now be able to identify the different coins and know their values and know how to combine them to make change. Another piece of this center you're going to want to make is a menu. The first menu that I made for this center, I just looked up online free menu templates and I was able to make one. And this one's pretty cool. It has a variety of options. The students kind of learn, like, sometimes things come on the sides. So maybe if they want chocolate chip pancakes, they have to pay for pancakes and then they're going to have to pay the extra to get the chocolate chips on it. This creates variation for the center because you can change the menu. You can change the time setting. This is a breakfast menu. Maybe you'll want to add a dinner menu as the students' skills improve. And with dinner, prices are more expensive, so that'll kind of make it a little bit harder. And then you could also pick menus from local food restaurants in the area to get students into the real practice, because in a few years they may have $5 at Starbucks and they'll need to learn that they're not sure if they can get a grande pumpkin spice latte and a cake pop with $5. So having real menus from local restaurants and putting foods that they're interested in ordering will really kind of bring this center to life and illustrate to them why this is so important of a skill that they learn. To set up the center, to make the center something students can work independently, you should put the title on the top, the state standards just so that they know what they're getting out of it, the roles in the process. The materials should already be out, so it's up to you unless you want to have the students gather the materials or so that the students will know maybe if you forgot to put something out for the center that day. Expectations of what you want to collect at the end from the students after attending this center, and then help flaps, which I'll get into in a little bit. In the center, we have two main roles for the students. We have the server. The server is one person per turn at the center. The server's responsibility is to total each customer's bill, take the money back and bring them change, and then write up their report at the end. For customers, you could have anywhere between 1, maybe 3 at the most, just so that the center doesn't get too crowded, the kids don't get too crazy. But with the customer, each customer has a different value of money. For example, customer 1 might have a 10, customer 2 might have a 20, customer 3 might have maybe 3 ones, a 5, and a 10, just so that the students have variety. And also to add variation, you could change it up. You could make maybe 15 different customers, and you could have like a dish with drawing cards, and they would have to, so every day they could play the center but receive a different role and have a different turn. The customer's responsibilities are to order efficiently off the menu, meaning stick to their budget range. They have to kind of know, I have this much, it costs this much, to help them understand and evaluate their choices. Customers also are responsible for deciding how they're going to pay the bill and how they're going to make the tip, and then finally writing their little final review. You could have this center last anywhere from 15 minutes for the students just to get in, take their order, do the math, and get out. Or if you have more of a relaxed day, you could make this more of a free play environment let the students role play out a little more details of the restaurant, maybe have some conversations, talk a little bit. That could be like a fun Friday reward activity. This is the type of response you'd expect from a student who played a customer, just to check that they're understanding and they're making the most out of the center. You'd want to see how much money they had, what they ordered, to see they know how to total it up, and then what they subtracted from so they knew how to pay, also what they paid, and then what they expected in change. This is along the lines of a response you'd want to see from a server. You'd want them to be aware of how much the customer spent, what the customer gave the server, and then with the server you want to see the more detailed description, not just 24 cents, but 2 dimes and 4 pennies in change. And then you'd like the server to also record down what they got for a tip and how they received their tip. I have 2 flaps behind me. As you can see, both flaps encourage the students to try 3 times before they lift up the flap to help reveal the answers. One of the flaps has to do with coins, and in case the students forget what the coins are, they can lift it up like so and reveal the coin title and value. On the other flap, it gives the solution formula to how to find the total of a bill and also to check their work. What I like about having the flap covers is that the students who need help have access to the resource, and the students who don't need help or want to test themselves, it won't just be directly in their face, so they'll still have an opportunity to try on their own to see how they're really understanding the concepts. Strategies to meet diversified learning. If your student's blind, you could get the menu written in Braille or have other students read the menu aloud to them. If you have blind students, it's also important to ensure that you just use regular money to practice with so students can learn the texture and feelings of coins to give them more independence. If the students are deaf, they can place their order and do their business in sign language. If your students are ELL, you could have a translator help them with the menu, or you could have other students help them learn their English, and in return, those students could teach the other students how to speak some of the words in Spanish. If you have students with learning disabilities, you can ensure that they get the easy amounts of money customer rolls while they're first learning, and if they're the server, you could give them a partner to help make sure they understand the process. If your students are gate, you could make sure they get difficult customer rolls, or you could factor in tax to help them work on their multiplying of decimals in addition to traditional adding and subtraction. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation of the Math Cafe, and I hope that I've provided you with enough instruction and variation that you would be comfortable teaching this in your classroom setting.